You're gonna love this. Wow. Okay, so here's a screenshot from one of my videos.
All right, we have discovered that if I do this,
You're gonna
we
love
won't get
this.
a blacklist.
Wow. Okay, so here's a screenshot from one of my videos.
What? Huh?
I don't know. Do you have another?
Anyway, if we do this, I've discovered that I can kind of beat the blacklist. All right, we have discovered that if I do this, I start off. We won't get a blacklist. And why
Wow.
is it
Okay, so here's a screenshot from one of my videos.
What? Every day, audio problems. Every day, even though I changed it. Anyway, if we do this, I've discovered that I can kind of beat the blacklist. All right, we have discovered that if I do this, I start off. We won't get a blacklist. And
Wow.
Where is that
Okay,
coming
so
from?
here's a
This is
screenshot from
freaking
one of my videos.
fascinating. Every day, audio problems. Every day, even though I changed it. Anyway, if we do this, I've discovered that I can kind of beat the blacklist. All right, we have discovered that if I do this, I start off. We won't get a blacklist. And
Wow.
Where is that
Okay,
coming
so
from?
here's a
This is
screenshot from
freaking
one of my videos.
fascinating. Every day, audio problems. Every day, even though I changed it. Anyway, if we do this, I've discovered that I can kind of beat the blacklist. All right, we have discovered that going on. I know. This happens to me every day. There's some kind of audio problem. I'm not changing anything. Every day, audio. All right, this happens every day. I'm not changing anything. I'm not making any changes to the system. Not changing my audio, not changing my mic, but I have to rebuild the entire audio thing every single day. And this just started since I started doing stuff on Vegas. Call me paranoid, I don't care. But anyway, so I think we're back in charge. I have no idea of our volume. I don't know. Yeah, I know I have it stopped.
Oh.
So I'm not hearing what I'm doing. Okay. That's the reason it was repeating. Anyway, so in order to beat this, I'm going to play a cat video for a couple of minutes, and my wife is going to read from the local grocery store ad. Ready, Liz?
Sure. Oh, yeah, we've got to fill a couple of minutes here, so just bear with me. I was just looking at local specials. So if you happen to be in Springfield, Kentucky at your local IGA, you can get Sugardale Smoketown portions for 99 cents a pound. You can get boneless round roast for $3.49 a pound. Oh, wow, you can get Kraft dressing 3 for $5. That's not bad. Black Canyon Angus boneless top sirloin steak, $3.99 a pound. Potatoes Idaho 10 pounds, $2.99. Fried chicken 16 pieces, $16. I hope wings are excluded because it doesn't seem fair to have to pay $1 for a wing.
But that's a jip. You're not paying $2 for a breast, right?
I guess it averages out.
You got to pay $5 for it at a strip club.
For what?
A breast.
Ha 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 ha. I thought they gave you a little looky-loo for free.
How much is a sack of taters?
I already did potatoes.
Oh, that's right.
Special Baker cream horns, $1.49 for 6, I'm assuming. We about at the end of this yet?
We got 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds to go. Well, folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with my accent. Go find you some good bargains and listen to this video and see if we have beat the system. Thank you.
All right, we're back on the video roll. These are just some of the Vegas stuff that was coming out today. And let me actually get the real video going here. Give me a second. Let's see, on, and turn this on, and turn that off, and we're going to go down here, and back up, and start all over, and ready, rock and roll, here we go.
You're going to love this. Wow. Okay, so here's a screenshot from one of my videos in regards to the Las Vegas security guard, Campos. Now, we all know that he's just some big mystery that nobody knows anything about. He's supposed to do 5 interviews. He bolts out, doesn't, just disappears, vanishes. Some people think that he doesn't even exist. Then there's rumors that he's supposedly shy and doesn't want to do interviews. Or those other rumors just say he wants his privacy. Just strange things. And he goes, since he's as strange as he is and everything he does, he goes right along with the whole Las Vegas shooting because none of it makes any sense. I've been exposing videos in regards to this, and there's lies and deceptions and facts change, timelines change, none of it makes any sense. It's just like a circus gone bad. Vegas circus gone bad. That's pretty much what it's like. It makes no sense at all, and everyone agrees with me on this. It's just too bizarre. It really is. It's insane, and it's even gotten stranger and more insane today. If it could get any weirder, it just did, and I'm about to show you that in this video right here. So yeah, this screenshot here is just one of the videos I created on him. Look, that video I put up, 3 days ago, it's already got over 311,000 views. Now, guess what? This is so crazy. So he's supposed to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show today. So that's where he's going to come make his first interview, on Ellen DeGeneres today. Now, she's okay, I think she's from the state of Louisiana, where I'm from. Way back when MySpace used to be something. I don't think it exists anymore as far as I know. I had 1.7 million followers, friends or followers, whatever you want to call them there. And she left a comment which was on my page, which was nice of her. She's okay, I don't know her personally really or anything, but I didn't expect this to happen. So he's going to all of a sudden pick her show to go on and do his first interview. This is just too crazy. And how do you think this makes the whole investigation look in regards to Las Vegas? This man who turns down all these major news sources, 5 of them, he's supposed to do an interview and bolts out of there and just vanishes, and nobody knows where he is or whether he's alive or even if he even exists. And the other question is this really him? And oddly, in the picture they showed us from where he accepted his award, which there's no video of that, and there's very few pictures. Yeah, in the picture where he accepted his award from the union that he's in or whatever, he looks Middle Eastern to me. It's strange, and he's got this beard. I've never known. I know a few security guards, and I've never known to be allowed to wear long beards like that, and especially in Las Vegas at a nice big hotel. I don't know. Does this make any sense? Maybe they allow it. I don't know. You tell me. Do you work there? I'm sure some of you probably that watch these videos do, because I've already had comments from people that live in Las Vegas, work at that hotel, just people that know this person and that person. We're getting so many views and so much. And by the way, we hit over 40,000 today, so thank you. Yesterday actually, so thank you. I love you guys. Now, there's nobody that supports anybody better than you do with me, and you're the best. You really are. You're the one that gets the credit. Don't give it to me, because you're the best. You're the ones that are smart and know what to watch and what not to watch, and I'm giving you real news, not fake news. So right here, yeah, this is just so crazy. This I still can't believe this. How can it get any crazier, stranger, and bizarre than what it already has? And like I said, this has got to be a slap in the face to the investigation, because the man that bolts out of 5 big interviews and all this strange stuff being talked about him, and all of a sudden he shows up on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Does this make any sense at all? And this is the same woman that really does not like our wonderful President Donald Trump. And I've supported him from the start, day one. I brought him millions of views on YouTube and helped him tremendously, those that have followed it. Even doing his closing statements, opening statements, and all that. These videos are created on him and got millions of views. And so I like Trump. I think he's doing a great job. I really do. Nobody's perfect, but I think he's doing a great job in heading our country in the right direction. And you can tell by the economy it's already getting better. But yeah, so this is what she says about President Trump. Ellen explains why she doesn't want dangerous Donald Trump on a show. So she's saying he's dangerous. He's one of the least dangerous person on earth. I mean, there's no danger. But if anything, he's helping protect our country and keep us safe. But so I just, this is a screenshot right here. You can see Campos was supposed to do what? Let's see. That Thursday, what? I don't know, it was a week or two ago, something. It was a Thursday. It wasn't long ago, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he was supposed to do an interview with five television stations, including Fox. And none of the big mainstream news media channels are completely great and honest, but Fox is better than some of them. It's not complete fake news. They're okay, and I do watch them. But yeah, so he bolts out of there and vanishes. And just so happens no reporters see him bolt out of there. Nobody gets a video of it. Nobody knows where he goes. Nobody noticed him. And he's got an injured leg, and so he was really fast. Because when you get an injured leg, you can move even a little bit faster. So he got out of there quick. But of course I'm being sarcastic like I quite often do, but you know when I'm sarcastic, right? You're smart. But there'll be one or two people that probably just got on my channel or a troll that'll say, that don't make no sense at all. So, but you get it, right? So here we go. Today. Oh, and just want to mention real quick, you might want to watch all this video and not cut out, because just maybe, we'll get audio from that interview before it even comes up today. Wouldn't that be a miracle? We'd be able to listen to it before we even watch it on TV. Because that's all I want to hear anyway. I want to hear the audio. I want to hear what he has to say. I'm not so excited about staring at them. I already know what he looks like. And I mean, I probably will watch it later to make sure that it looks somewhat like him. I think he's cut his beard off. So maybe it's going to be hard to tell anyway. Let's see. So, yeah, so he bolts out of these interviews and hadn't heard nothing from him, nothing. Even, and I mentioned also that his, the guy that apparently represented him, works with him when he did the award ceremony and all that. This guy is said that he's the only one who seems to be had been in touch with Campos, and he said that on one day that he didn't hear from him, he bolted, and then Campos texted him and said he was at an urgent care place. So what was that about? I have no idea. Why would he go there? And why would he, it just makes no sense at all. That was the guy that's with the union that seems to be doing the representing of him or something. I don't know. So, yeah, not much on him, bolted. And now he's going to be on Ellen DeGeneres. This makes no sense at all. Campos previously skipped out moments before scheduled interview with several TV networks last week. His highly anticipated appearance Wednesday is still unlikely to quell rampant speculation and rumors surrounding the horrific attack. Nearly 3 weeks since the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, the FBI and the Las Vegas police have yet revealed a motive of Paddock's, and there's no motive, too. Paddock's actions and questions remain about the sequence of events. And you've watched all the videos that I'm exposing on Paddock also. The supposed shooter, which I don't think, I don't know, they got all that wrong. They're just throwing lies and deception out there. We're smart enough to figure that out. But so which have become muddled after police and the owners of Mandalay Bay gave sometimes conflicting statements on a timeline of the events leading up to the shooting. Police have said they're not planning on holding any other news conferences absent new evidence. I felt the burning sensation. I went to go lift my pant leg up and I saw the blood. That's what Campos had to say. That's about all he's had to say. The Mandalay Bay security guard who sparked national interest after disappearing into public this week, let's see. Campos, in a pre-recorded interview set to air Wednesday, which is today, of course, told DeGeneres he had trouble reaching the shooter's floor to inspect a door that was left ajar on the night of the shooting, which killed 58 and injured hundreds of others and had gathered at a country music concert. There was a metal bracket holding the door in place, Campos said, describing how he was blocked trying to enter the 32nd floor from a stairwell next to Paddock's room. That was just out of the ordinary. It's not normal. Okay, so now from what I understand, the investigators, police, whatever, said that Paddock had cameras on that, that food cart that you saw outside his room. That food cart supposedly had cameras on that. At least that's what they said. But there was no recording. They said it wasn't doing any recording. So yeah, tomorrow the first people to enter the Las Vegas shooter are here. Security guard Campos and builder engineer Stephen Shuck. Now this is interesting too. So the only two witnesses, supposedly, that were in there when Paddock was supposedly shooting and all, which they show us no video footage, of course. You know that they show us no video footage, right? So they because it would contradict what they're saying. You know, they're not releasing none, absolutely no security surveillance video from the Mandalay Hotel, which is ridiculous. There's no reason they couldn't show us some of that. So that even shows more that it's just lies and deception. But these are the only two guys supposedly right there when all this was going down, and they're going to Ellen DeGeneres show to talk about it. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, the woman that hates the president. This makes sense at all. Yeah, right, yeah. So we're really supposed to believe all this bull. I don't know. This is just insane. It really is. Wow. So, let's see. Shuck said he accessed the floor from a service elevator and didn't notice the shooting until he got closer to Paddock's room. Once I got more than halfway in, I saw Campos, and I started hearing shooting, Shuck said. And I thought, at the time I didn't know it was shooting, I thought it was a jackhammer, and as an engineer I thought we are not working up here late at night. We wouldn't be doing that. Shuck and Campos leaning out from his hiding spot and yelled at Shuck to take cover, which saved his life as bullets whizzed by. Everyone came together to help the night, even in the darkest hour, said Campos, who thanked the Las Vegas police, FBI, first responders, and hospital workers. And the interesting thing, too, is the timeline changed on that. Remember that? They said at first it was up there as it was shooting, then the police changed it and said it was 6 minutes before the shooting. So that's very bizarre and strange in itself also. That was very questionable when they changed that information. That really makes no sense at all. But wait, hold on just a second here. Something's going on here. Oh my God, MK Ultra, no! Oh no, it's not MK Ultra. Okay, thank God. Okay, it sounds like something's coming through. Hold on, let's listen and see what's going on here.
Here, and first of all, how are you both doing?
I'm doing better each day. Slowly but surely, just healing physically and mentally.
Yeah, I imagine that you relived that a lot. Yeah.
Awkward.
And how are you doing, Stephen?
It's definitely hard.
It's a manager build.
So we're working to get over this.
Okay, so Jesus, you're the security officer, and you were called to check on a door that was, I guess, when a door is left open for a certain amount of time, you're supposed to go check on it, right?
Yes, we get notifications, making sure that to secure them, or if they've already been secured, just making that check on the doors.
Okay, so you were going up the fire escape to get there?
Via the stairwell.
Scripted.
I was
Scripted.
coming from the 31st up to the 32nd.
Right.
When I approached the door, it didn't open.
Scripted.
And it was blocked off, so I had to reroute.
Is that a normal thing that the door at the fire escape, the stairwell would be blocked off?
No, they're always supposed to remain open.
Right.
And so after I would drop down and then came back through the hallway, and then I approached the room, got into the door. There was a metal bracket holding the door in place.
Right. So what we're talking about here, just so everybody's clear. Okay.
Wow.
So this is where the hotel room, where the shooter was. This is the stairway, and this door here was blocked, and you didn't know that till you came up through the elevator and went through this door and saw that there was something blocking that door. And when you saw that, did you think, that's weird, why would somebody put brackets on a door?
Yeah, that's just out of the ordinary.
That was the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you walk out of this, and this just slammed?
Well, when I was in between that area, I was calling security dispatch to get transferred to engineering. They didn't know anything about it, so they dispatched an engineer to go verify what that was.
That's when you got called?
Yes.
Okay.
And at that time, I heard what I assumed it was drilling sounds, and I believed that they were in the area working somehow.
So you thought the drilling, they were gunshots, but you thought it was just drilling sounds?
Drilling?
I think it was just drilling sounds.
Right.
It's just drilling.
So then, at what point did you get shot? What happens here?
As that door's closing and it's so heavy, it'll slam. I'm walking down this way, and I believe that's what caught the shooter's attention. As I was walking down, I heard rapid fire.
Look how he keeps patting him on the back.
At first, I took cover. I felt the burning sensation. I went to go lift my pant leg up, and I saw the blood. That's when I called it in on my radio that shots had been fired. And I was going to say that I was hit, but I got all over my cell phone just to clear that radio traffic for they can coordinate the rest of the call.
So he shot. You didn't even know he shot through this door, right?
Yeah, from behind the door.
200
I didn't know how he was shooting.
times.
Yeah.
But he shot out.
Right. So you didn't even know it was coming from here. So it's Steven at this point. So
didn't
you
kill
were
him.
called up. You just think that you're coming to look at a door that's been blocked in the firewall, right?
Yeah, I didn't think anything out of the ordinary at the time. I came from a higher floor
Fake
and
news.
came down a different hallway, service elevator, and I walked out and I rounded the corner for the 100 hallway, and that's when it was quiet at this time, and the doors are set back, as you can see in that, about a foot. And Jesus was towards the end of the hallway, but I didn't know at that time. I thought I saw someone pop out of the cubby, and I kept walking, and once I got more than halfway is when I saw Jesus, and I started to hear shooting. And I thought, at the time I didn't know it was shooting, I thought it was a jackhammer. And, as an engineer, I'm like, we're not working up here this late at night. We wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
And it was, I believe, outside. It wasn't in the hallway yet. And that's when Jesus, he leaned out and he said, take cover, and yelled at me. And within milliseconds, if he didn't say that, I would have got hit.
Because he was still shooting. So you would have been hit had he not told you.
Yeah, it wasn't even fully in cover, and they were passing behind my head, and I could feel the pressure.
You could feel the pressure going past you, just even being out of the way.
Yes.
And were guests coming out of the doorways?
There was a female that came out, and I told her to go back inside. It wasn't safe. Shortly after, that's when Steven was approaching, and I told him to stay back and get cover.
Never heard from her.
That's when more rounds were dispersed.
Right. Wow. So,
Wow,
And I mean,
wow.
really, he saved your life, and he saved also the woman that came out of the door to go into the hallway.
Audience cue, clap. Put up the clap sign.
I know, first of all, thank you so much for being here, and I know that you've had so many people asking
Detective
for you
Ellen.
to tell the story and to talk about this,
Yeah.
and I understand your reluctance because you just want this to be over. So you're talking about it now, and then you're not going to talk about it again.
Wow.
And I don't blame you because you might relive this over and over again, but it's helpful for people to understand what a hero you are, because you, being shot in the leg, saved so many people's lives, and instead of you just getting out of there, you saved Stephen's life, you saved that woman's life, and who knows how many other people, and so we just wanted to celebrate.
You saved
That's
Ellen.
why you're here today, because we want to thank you for what you've done. Even after this happened, instead of going to the hospital, you stayed to help the police and give them all the information they needed to piece these things together. And also, what else did you want to mention?
I just want to mention all the people that assisted that night, whether it was Metro, the FBI, the community especially coming together to help everyone in need, the first responders, even the people that got called in to assist in the hospitals, and just everything puts pieces together on how everyone came together to help that night, even in the darkest hour.
Yes, there were a lot of people that showed up to help. All right, and Stephen?
Definitely, I want to thank the first responders and people on the ground at the show helping each other out. I mean, I think the acts of humanity were major that night, and I want to thank Jesus again from my family and all my friends and everybody for saving my life.
Yep. Yeah, that's really, you did. I don't know if you're taking all that in, and I know, like you said, it's hard. You think about that a lot, and you did. You saved people's lives. And we, of course, wanted to give you money. We wanted to, and you both were very, very specific. You said you don't want money. You don't want money at all. So you're not getting any money. All right? So we're not going to give you money.
This is so
But
weird.
Steven, your favorite team is the Colts, and you've never been to a game, so the NFL is flying you to meet the team and get VIP tickets. So you're going to go see the Colts.
This is so weird, people. This is so freaking weird.
It's like a fake movie.
And then also, it's over here. Okay, also, this is, you're a fan of the Oakland Raiders, and Shutterfly is going to give you season tickets when the team goes to Las Vegas. You're going to be able to see them. Also, we know it's really important for you to, that everyone is recognized. So Shutterfly cares about supporting communities, so it's going to make a donation of $25,000 in your name to the GoFundMe page that's dedicated to helping.
Of course.
This is so weird.
All right, here we go with the audio problems again. Okay, I think I got it fixed now. Okay, so we're going to shift on into this next video here, discussing the body language. This guy kind of has to do the same thing I've had to do. He's going to be filming just random stuff and cars and whatever. I don't know. But, yeah, there's a short attention span involved here, you know, and people take away the weirdest things. You know, I did a video a couple of weeks ago when it was very early on in this, and somebody told me that that concert was an open-air free concert that Vegas put on, so that's what I said. But see, the problem is in a 1 hour video, that one statement was focused in upon, and that's all they took away from it. Not the rest of it. Not the rest of the video. Not the rest of what's wrong with what we're looking at. But the fact that I said it was an open air free concert, which is kind of moot. And, you know, it's kind of like, all right, you made an entire recipe of this giant meal, but yet, while you were describing how to mix it up, you said I took the spoon out of the drawer instead of the spoon was already on the cabinet. It's just kind of stupid, you know, and that's just kind of the tactic, of course. So anyway, we will take up on the next, and I hope the audio is still coming through, because every time I click that mic mute button, I come back and it's either no audio or whole bunch of echo.
Campos, if that really is your real name. We will briefly go over some body language on some deception. As everyone already knows, he has emerged after 16 days or so on the Ellen DeGenerate show. He gives us many clues as to his current emotional condition, and as I said before, 15 days later, he has emerged after he has been fully debriefed on the correct narrative, and he ends up on the Ellen DeGenerate show. I mean, this is a slap in the face to all the people, all the families who lost members of their family. This is an extreme slap in the face. But for anyone who is new to the channel, the reason I cannot show you a clip of his interview on a degenerate show in full or even a partial clip is that the Hollywood people, they do not consider this story news. No, they consider this art and entertainment. Hence, it's on the Ellen Show. They think it's art and entertainment, and they enforce their copyright ownership to the full extent that their dual citizen lawyers can get away with. So that, just cannot show it. Okay, for the slim chance that somebody out there may be in the dark about this operation, let me give you a little overview. This is where I visited Jesus Campos' house on the east side of Las Vegas. That white truck there, right there on the right, the white truck with the stuff in the back, that's where the security guard was stationed when I got there. When other reporters showed up, he was in the front yard, but when I showed up, he was stationed in that white truck. He never did get out. I never did go on the property. I stayed on public land. I took a little video. You can see that the Corvette is covered, license plate off. Now, don't hold me to it, but I believe this was like a day after he disappeared. Remember, he was supposed to go on Fox News and all the news agencies and tell his side of the story, and right when they were about ready to film, he disappeared. Now, the thing is, this story is a lot more complicated than it appears. For example, the Rothschilds are advising Dubai World, okay? And Dubai World saved the MGM from going out of business. In 2009, 2010, when MGM spent almost $10 billion on City Center, the financial world collapsed. Dubai World came in there and got 50% ownership of MGM. They're being advised by the Rothschilds, and then all of a sudden, this guy decides he's not going to do an interview with the so-called news agencies, and he ends up on an entertainment show like Ellen DeGenerate, who just happens to promote the MGM every chance she gets. I mean, seriously, this story is a lot deeper than you will ever imagine. But let's go back to Jesus Campos' house for a moment, because this guy's a big part of the story. This man, I forget his name, but he's hiding his badge here. He claims to be a security officer, and he's guarding Jesus Campos' house after Jesus disappeared. I mean, none of this was normal. That's why we're talking about it. This is a newsworthy story, because if Jesus is a hero, why did he need a security guard watching his house? Why is everything so secretive? Why did he agree to news agency interviews, but then disappear at the last moment? I mean, it just opened up a can of worms, is what we got here. It seriously did open up a can of worms. It stunk to high heaven. And then for the ultimate slap in the face, I mean, I'm serious. This is the ultimate slap in the face to all those families who lost people, lost members of their family. He ends up on the Ellen DeGenerate show, making a complete farce out of it. Some people say maybe it appears he's trying to profit from the tragedy. I mean, I don't know how much they're paying him, but this does stink to high heaven. And I really am so glad, and I'm so relieved that Ellen was able to ask all those hard questions, on her entertainment show. I mean, and like everyone else, I'm wondering, when will Ellen interview the families of the 58 or now 59 victims? One person died of stress 6 days later in her sleep at 28 years old. Yeah, when is Ellen going to invite the family members on? This is pathetic. I mean, Ellen is a good puppet for the Rothschilds and the elite. I mean, she promised them that she was not going to ask any questions about his social security number. She was not going to ask any questions about what country he hails from, and she was even able to get an NFL football plug in there. I mean, giving these guys football, NFL caps. I mean, what's next? I mean, if the Raiders ever make it to Las Vegas, I guess he's going to get a year-long pass to go see the Raiders games, and he can come back on the Ellen DeGenerate show, and she can personally hand him his NFL pass. I mean, it's all a sad, pathetic, choreographed, scripted, deep state show to divert our attentions away from reality. And I really wonder how much Ellen had to pay this man to bring him on her show. The show. I mean, I hear her ratings are really, really going down. Her ratings are dipping, and she had to go this low to try. Unbelievable. Okay, so let's briefly go over some of the body language that I noticed. It's very, very clear that he had a handler there with him, support. You know, the guy there was supporting him, patting him on the back, giving him comfort. I mean, I really think that the people in charge, they were not comfortable letting this guy out there. So that's probably why they had to have 15 days of debriefing. They tried to train him the best they could. They debriefed him, but the problem is, when it comes to body language, you cannot train somebody for that. So he was looking down on way too many questions. He was showing his shame. He's just not a very sophisticated liar. He's ashamed of himself on many, many things. As I said, his handler there, Shuck, was patting him on the back, giving him comfort, saying, okay, you can do this. You can get through it. And one question that really bothered me was this one here. Both of them, it was like their reaction was like synchronized swimming in shame. When Ellen asked the deep state question, she had to bring this up there. She was instructed to ask this question. Were there any guests up there? Did any guests peek out their head out the door? And then they both looked down in shame at the exact same time. It was almost synchronized. And Jesus says, oh yeah, there was one female who poked her head out, but I told her calmly to go back in because it was not safe. He didn't mention to the female that shots were being fired, and I can only imagine that they're getting that female guest prepared as we speak for an interview in a couple days. She has to be debriefed as to the narrative. It's my thinking, and I can never prove this, but there were probably no guests on the 32nd floor, maybe not even on the 31st floor. That's going to be the $64,000 question. Because on a weekend like that, every room should have been filled up there. And I guarantee you that Dubai World, the Rothschilds, and the MGM is not going to give us a list of all the guests who were on the 32nd floor and the 31st floor because, well, it would be too difficult to control that narrative. Let me be clear what I'm trying to say here. When they both looked down at the same time on this question about a guest on the 32nd floor, what I'm trying to say is if Paddock was selling guns up there or pretending to sell guns or whatever was going on, they would not have booked any guest on the 32nd floor, maybe not even on the 31st floor. Now, can I prove this? No, we are speculating. But it's funny that this is one of the questions that Ellen brought up because they watch everything we do. They listen to everything we say, and I have brought this up before. Why are there no interviews of the guest on the 32nd floor, 31st floor? Ellen was directed to ask this question. Again, this is something we're never ever going to learn because the MGM is not going to share it. The Rothschilds are not going to share it. Dubai World, nobody's going to share any proof that there were guests on that floor. Now, so I don't want to go into this anymore, but it's clear to me that this was a psyop here. Ellen's involved in a psyop, trying to convince people. That question was trying to convince people. Yeah, there were people up there. Jesus saved them. He's a hero. He saved them all. Okay, remember what we're trying to do here. While we briefly talk about body language, what we're looking for is signs of deception, because that's something you cannot be trained for. Signs of deception. I mean, we know that this was scripted. We know that he had a handler. We know all that. We know he's under a lot of stress and he's not used to lying. But on this question here, Ellen says to him, you saved his life. You saved that poor lady's life that you told her to get back in there. You saved their life. And what does he do immediately? He puts his head down, rubs his thumb across his forehead. I mean, this is a classic sign of deception. He's just not comfortable being called a hero. I mean, what was he doing up there? And that brings up another point. They claim that he was up there because a door was ajar. They have a door alarm. Well, many people, many previous guards who worked for Mandalay Bay say there are no door ajar alarms. And quite frankly, if all the doors had alarms on them, the security guards would be bombarded practically 24/7 going up checking on open doors. Many people in the hotels keep their doors open and try to get some fresh air in there. I'm skeptical whether there are any door alarms on the doors there, and a lot of stuff not making sense here, is it? And to make matters worse, many people may not remember this, but in the beginning, the first reports was that the security guard was up there because of a smoke alarm fire, because the weapon was putting off so much smoke. That narrative went out the window, and now they're going with the door ajar narrative. I can just imagine what the next excuse will be, that he was up there. Okay, one thing is MGM has hired an elite crisis management firm to handle this. So the crisis management firm will be coming up with some more details, I imagine. And we've already talked about throwing the NFL plug in there. I mean, a shameless plug. I mean, how can you throw the NFL into such a tragedy? I mean, this is a slap in the face. I can just imagine what the family members are thinking about this farce. It's embarrassing. And to think that not long ago, I mean, probably more than once, Ellen DeGeneres was over at the MGM on her show plugging the MGM company. Now, why is she doing this? This is where the story gets a little deeper, but this is a fact. I'm going to show you some pictures. Ellen DeGeneres promotes the MGM as much as possible, had some shows on it, and you think it's a coincidence that she got the so-called MGM hero security guard. We don't even know if he really works for the MGM. They're not going to tell us anything. But these are not coincidences. These are shameless promotions. They're taking this tragedy and trying to turn it into entertainment. This is beyond disgusting. It really is. We have to document this because I never did like Ellen DeGeneres. I believe she is a degenerate, and when she shamelessly promotes companies that are foreign companies, like I say, this company is half owned, MGM Grand, half owned by Dubai World. So let's go into who owns Ellen's TV show. Andy Lassner is an executive, and some of the other names can give you clues, but here's what I want you to find. Here's the thing. Telepictures Productions. Basically, Telepictures is owned by Warner Brothers. Okay? So, Warner Brothers, Lorimar, it's all tied in to some alarming facts. Now, one of the biggest shareholders, one of the big owners of Time Warner is a Saudi prince. Now, to truly understand this story, you have to understand that the Rothschilds, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, they're all interconnected with the central banks and the people who control the central bank system. See, if you don't understand the ties between Saudi Arabia, the Rothschilds, Dubai, and the central banks, the international bankers, if you don't understand that tie, then you're not going to understand this story completely. I'm just going to show you the basics. I don't have time to dig in that deep, but the basics are there. The basics are there. Time Warner, one of the Saudi princes, is a big owner of Time Warner. The MGM would have been out of business. The MGM was saved by Dubai Prince, a Dubai king. And of course, Dubai World is not even guaranteed. This is where it really gets weird. The Dubai World, the Saudi people, they throw money out there like crazy, but the Dubai World company is not guaranteed by the country of Dubai. And then you're talking about a lot of stuff here that goes so deep, and you're wondering how in the hell this cannot be a coincidence. It's impossible. Okay, while you're reading this stuff here, let me get back to that fluff piece today on the Ellen DeGeneres show, because I missed one thing I want to talk about. There was one question. or actually it was a statement by Jesus that he kind of really screwed up badly. Now remember, the show starts where they say supposedly 200 pieces of lead come flying through that door, and he only hits one little. He got one little hit out of 200 shots out the door. But here's what he messed up. Okay, he says that when he got shot, okay, he radioed in, but he said he quickly got off the radio because he wanted to get off the radio so they could coordinate the call. I mean, this is a BS alert here. Seriously, BS alert. He screwed that up. You can go watch it again. He says it really quickly. It was not convincing. Unbelievable. He says he radioed in, but he got off the air quickly so they could coordinate the call to who knows who. And then he said he got on his cell phone. Bottom line, it wasn't convincing at all, that statement. I mean, here's the thing. If shots are fired, you do not get off the radio. Think about it. Common sense. Shots fired, you're hit. You do not get off the radio. You stay on the radio and report what the hell was going on. Seriously. So none of it makes sense. It was not very convincing. My goal today was to show signs of deception in his interview. I mean, Ellen DeGenerate did not let me down. It was a total fluff piece. I mean, talk about getting to the bottom. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Ellen DeGenerate, you make me laugh.
About finding pedophiles, and he's got his helmet off. 3 at its Vandenberg Air Force Base. Beautiful for this, but evidence is that David Brock of everything and his controlled media is that North Korea spilled blood in the very bases that
perpetual state of fear from Al Qaeda.
That's right, or in this case,
the CIA helping with drug.
On October 10th, while driving to the airport to fly out to Las Vegas, I said in one of my videos that I was going to be live streaming once I reached the ground, and would be sharing quite a bit of information throughout the week through live streaming. However, when I got to Las Vegas and went to do my first live stream, I found that while I was in transit, YouTube took one of the videos that I had just uploaded and gave me a community guidelines strike, which took away my ability to live stream. So I looked at the community standard strike, and I was being accused by YouTube of engaging in harassment and cyberbullying, which was completely false. There was no harassment or cyberbullying. So I filed an appeal. They eventually said, okay, you're right, there's nothing wrong with this video, and they removed the community standard strike, put the video back up. However, and I did get the live stream option back, but now I'm back in North Carolina and it's too late. Makes you wonder if that wasn't planned by design. Well, anyway, I'm going to re-upload that video now in its entirety. If you have already seen part 1, you're welcome just to skip all the way to around minute 34, and that's where the additional material appears that had been deleted by YouTube originally. Thanks for watching.
Hi there, everyone. I haven't done as many videos as I normally do the last few days. I've actually been quite busy doing different interviews with media outlets. So I want to give you an update on what I've been doing and tell you what my plans are for this week, and also talk to you some about a topic that I think is important. So first of all, I've gotten a lot of interview requests. Last night I did an interview with BuzzFeed News, and that went well. And then I got a call late last night from the international producer for Ren TV. Ren TV is the largest private media company in Russia, and they are doing a huge documentary on CIA operations. And so apparently they had been interviewing a man named Richard Gage. Some of you may have heard of him. Richard Gage is the president of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. And if you've not been to their website, it's phenomenal. They have got incredible evidence there. If you don't know what they are, Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth is a group of thousands of professionals who have come together from all across America, who have professional training in architecture, various kinds of engineering. These are people who are demolition experts, and they know what they're talking about. And they have combined forces to address every single aspect of the 9/11 attacks in New York City, and have proven beyond any doubt whatsoever with science, scientific proof, that planes and jet fuel did not bring down the towers. So if you're new to the idea that 9/11 was an inside job and you are skeptical, I guarantee you, if you go to their website, watch their videos, and listen to the experts who know what they're talking about, you will come away absolutely convinced that 9/11 that the World Trade Center towers 1, 2, and 7 didn't just fall down because of the planes hitting 2 of the towers. Anyway, the website, if I'm remembering right, is ae911truth.org. Check it out. So anyway, Richard Gage, the president of the organization, he was one of the people being interviewed for this documentary that Russia is doing. And they asked if he knew anyone to recommend who would have some knowledge about these matters. And I was told that he recommended me. So I got a phone call last night, and I worked it out with the producer. I said I was going to be going out of town today, so they arranged for a film crew to come out this morning to my home, and I spent about 4 or 5 hours with the film crew doing interviews, preparing segments for this documentary based on my expertise in covert CIA operations. And it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. They're professional, they asked the right questions, and I don't believe it's going to air until November in Russia, but they said they're going to send a copy to me. So anyway, I want to talk about it's not so much that there's a 9/11 connection to the Las Vegas shooting, but the way that the CIA operates, what it does. I think that if you understand some of the stuff that happened back in 2001, it'll help you understand how and why the Las Vegas shooting is a CIA false flag attack. Not many people remember this, unless you're, in your maybe mid-40s or older. You probably won't remember that not only was there the terrible attacks on 9/11 in New York and the Pentagon and the plane going down in Pennsylvania, but 1 week later, there was another series of terrorist attacks in the United States that plunged the nation back into a state of absolute fear. And the nature of the attacks were different from the Trade Center towers being attacked. Because while that caused psychological trauma to everyone in the country, because we saw this play out over and over again on the news, most Americans didn't have to worry about being in a great big skyscraper and getting killed by planes. We knew that we were fairly safe, even though we were fearful as to what was going on and what it all meant. But there was a series of attacks that started on September 18th. What happened was an unknown party or parties started mailing military-grade weaponized anthrax through the United States postal system. And these attacks immediately killed 5 people. They quickly infected at least 17 others. And according to the FBI, the ensuing investigation that they conducted into these attacks, it ended up costing over $100 million. Okay, one of the most expensive investigations in U.S. history. And the Bush administration, they used this anthrax scare to begin building up their case for war with Iraq. That was the purpose of the anthrax scare. And in the end, when it was all said and done, they came up with, just like Las Vegas, this outrageous theory that everything that was happening with the anthrax attacks, it was the work of a single lone nut. His name was Bruce Ivins. He was an anthrax researcher, and they ended up finding him dead from an apparent suicide. Does that sound familiar? Stephen Paddock. And so this event, the anthrax scare, came to be known as Amerithrax. So you can Google this on your when you've got some free time. So like I said, it started on September 18th. There were 5 mysterious envelopes that showed up at the offices of some of the major news outlets. And they were addressed to prominent personalities like Tom Brokaw from NBC. Back then, Tom Brokaw and Dan Rather, they were kind of like the top dogs in the media. Well, 3 weeks later, there were 2 additional envelopes that were sent to Washington, D.C., and they were addressed to some of the most prominent U.S. senators. The Senate leader, I don't remember right now if he was minority leader or majority leader, but Tom Daschle, and also to longtime Senator Patrick Leahy. So these messages that they got in the letters talked about 9/11. It had written out death to America, death to Israel. But wait, what made the letters so frightening is that they were full of anthrax powder, white powder. Anthrax, the spores, they're bacteria that can lie dormant in really harsh conditions. It doesn't die easily. But the powder, the bacteria gets activated when it's inhaled, or if you ingest it, or if you come in contact with it on your skin. So it's very, very contagious stuff, extremely contagious. What it does is it causes acute and deadly disease in the body, and the spores can be spread to others. I just had a blowout. This is the craziest thing. You see the railroad tracks right there? All right, I'm just getting off the road here. Let me show you this. This is absolutely incredible. I was just on the phone. Here's what I did. You guys saw the video that I did yesterday, the last couple days, about how my cars are being sabotaged, and my wife had a blowout in our van going down the highway. Anyway, I was on the phone a minute ago talking to someone who is a radio host. We were setting up an interview for me on Sunday night, and I was just talking to her. I had just, not 2 minutes before, got done explaining that I'm being targeted right now, that my car which I just took my wife to the shop and dropped her off to pick up my other car because it's had to have repairs because it's been sabotaged. That car in the last couple of months has had 2 blowouts. This van, which she drives, has had 4 blowouts in the last couple of months, including 2 nights ago. And I was just telling this the lady this on the phone, and right as I was getting ready to cross these railroad tracks, before I got to it, I just had another blowout. It is not that. I think I had a blowout. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. That is the exact. This is a brand new tire. Brand new tire, not even 24 hours old. Look at the tread on that. It's brand new. I just bought this tire yesterday. The tire that was on here before, that someone had stuck a knife in or something like that. We took it to one tire shop. They looked at it. They said they couldn't fix it because it was too wide. I took it to a second tire shop. They said they also said the tire was too bad, they couldn't be fixed. So we bought this brand new tire yesterday. Brand new tire. And I'll post later on, yesterday I had the police out I've got, or the sheriff's department, I've got pictures of that where they're doing an investigation into all of these this sabotaging that's going on with my cars. Just yesterday afternoon, this is literally the first time that this van has been driven since we got it home from this is the first time that we've driven it since we got it home after getting that new tire on it. I just took my wife to go pick up our other car, which has been fiddled with. Someone has loosened the tie rods that causes the wheels, the two front tires to go in different directions if that comes loose. This is serious business. And I'll tell you this, I'm going to go ahead and say this too. I wasn't going to say this publicly, but I'm going to go ahead and say it too. I've been approached by someone from a foreign country who offered last night to start funneling me large amounts of money outside of PayPal, outside of Patreon, in exchange for my compliance with their agenda, which is to stop talking about Zionism. And I haven't responded yet. Actually, I was going to wait and play along with this person for a while, but they have offered me a large amount of money through, they didn't say what source, how they were going to pay me the money, in exchange for me to stop talking about some of the stuff I've been talking about, some of these exposés I'm doing. They'd funnel me money from outside of the country. I don't know into what account, but they said that it wouldn't be a donation that could be tracked. They specifically said, anyway, it's a handler. Somebody is trying to handle me. Somebody is trying to bribe me. Somebody is trying to kill me. Somebody is trying to hurt my family. So I am buying I haven't said this yet. I was going to put this in a video. I'm buying a security system this weekend. And so I need some suggestions. Clearly, my house is a big house. It's a 3,700 square foot home. It was the model home in our neighborhood, so the entire garage, which is about 500 square feet, it's fully furnished. There's no garage doors that open to where I can pull my cars in at night. In fact, that's where I have my recording studio, is I've converted.
My entire family has just come under attack following some of the exposés that I've been doing on the Las Vegas shooting. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what's going on, and I am asking you for your prayers and your support. I just got a call from my wife a little while ago. She and my 6-year-old son are safe. Her van was sabotaged, and she just had a big blowout on the highway. We've got someone going to pick her and my son up right now in a tow truck on the way to get the van. I can't go pick her up myself because my car is in the shop because it also was sabotaged this week. I believe that criminal elements within or working on contract on behalf of a U.S. intelligence agency is behind this. I don't have time to go into all of it right now, but I'm going to give you a quick overview because if something happens to me or if my channel goes down, I want my viewers to know what's happening and to conduct a citizen-led investigation. So I'm going to say right now publicly, and hopefully some of you will download this video and keep it safe. I want to say publicly, I am not suicidal, nor am I having any major health problems. If something happens to me or to anyone in my family, it was not suicide, it was not a real health problem, it was not an accident. You all know that I was targeted earlier this year by criminal elements associated with one of the global pedophile rings that I've been investigating and trying to expose. Back in March, I produced a damning expose on the crime syndicate that was trafficking children out of Haiti. Among the people who were part of that operation was Laura Silsby, who was taking children out of a particular orphanage in Haiti. She didn't have any authority to do this. She didn't have any documentation to justify it. She was violating every law in the country to do this, taking these children to traffic them out of the country. After she was arrested, her attorney, her own attorney, was also arrested after Interpol identified him as a major player in an international child sex trafficking ring. So with him gone, not able to represent her, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, both violated the law to help extricate Silsby and get her back to the USA, despite Haiti convicting her as a child trafficker. I also identified two men, Dr. Michael Maccabee and his son, attorney Max Maccabee, big-time Zionists, as being key figures of influence at the Haitian orphanage from which Silsby was being given children. Dr. Maccabee is a world-famous psychoanalyst. He worked years ago with some of the men in the CIA assets who created the MK Ultra mind control program. Dr. Maccabee also happens to be a mentor of James Alefantis, the owner of the Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria in Washington, D.C., that the Pizzagate investigation was originally centering around. Now, in my video expose, I did not suggest that the Maccabees had done anything wrong. I neither said nor implied that the Maccabees were the ones authorizing or helping Laura Silsby to take children out of the orphanage that they controlled. And yet, in response, I simply said, look at this interesting piece of information. This deserves further investigation. And yet, in response to that video, Dr. Michael Maccabee retained a sleazy attorney named Stephen Scott Biss to sue me for $5 million. At the very same week that I received that lawsuit threat, both of my cars were broken into in my own driveway. And I put up a video showing you all how nails had been stuck into the tires of my car, which is a sedan, and how someone had cut hoses inside the engine of my wife's van. Now, in a related story, just a few weeks ago, a CIA agent named Robert David Steele, you guys probably have heard of him, he's a frequent guest on talk shows, Alex Jones and things like that, he filed a $15 million lawsuit against Jason Goodman. Jason Goodman runs Crowdsource the Truth. He works with George Webb on his investigations. Mossad is deeply involved with those investigations. Anyway, Robert David Steele filed a lawsuit against Jason Goodman using the exact same sleazebag attorney who Dr. Michael Maccabee used to threaten me with, Stephen Biss, a guy who is so unethical he's been disbarred in the past. So I tracked down video footage of Robert David Steele. Someone sent me actually some links anonymously showing Robert David Steele, stating that he's a close personal friend of the Maccabees. Robert David Steele has also tried repeatedly to debunk Pizzagate investigation and has instead spread this absurd disinformation story that the real Pizzagate news is that children are being kidnapped, yes, but they're being sent to live on Mars in Martian slave colonies. I'm not kidding. He says this with a straight face. He's really pushing this idea. It's classic CIA disinformation. You've heard the phrase, once CIA, always CIA? That's Robert David Steele. This guy is still working for them, clearly. And the fact that he is so closely linked to Michael Maccabee, putting him within this circle of the Clintons, the sex trafficking operations. Again, I'm not saying Robert David Steele has anything to do with this. It's something worth looking into. Well, the harassment and the attempts to injure or kill me or someone in my family, these attacks have continued since then. In the last few weeks, 3 different tires on my wife's van have been punctured on different days. We don't live in some industrial area where there's a bunch of construction going on. You know, think of it yourself. How often do you get a nail stuck or a screw stuck in your tire? It may happen once in a while, but 4 times on one vehicle in a period of months in your own driveway? So this blowout on the highway today, this is just the most recent attack against my family. And as I said, this is happening the same week as my own car has had to be taken in for work after several unexplained problems with the engine, with the tires, and with the brake system. All of this occurred out of the blue, all at once. And it was so shocking, I even warned my wife this week to be careful while driving because I was afraid that someone is trying to sabotage our vehicles again and to be careful. And here we are. This is not just a matter of having our cars having some random problems. These are life-threatening things that are being done to our vehicles. And these are the same, I suspect these are some of the same people. After I went after this pedophile ring, I'll say, I'm not going to give too many details. And I have shown to some people, I'm not going to put it out there publicly, but I've got a police report of the investigation after one of the people associated with this pedophile ring somehow managed to get photos that are on my hard drive that I've never put out publicly of one of my children, posted the picture of my child publicly with a threat to slit my child's throat. So that's been investigated. And I've shown that police report to some of you privately. I'm not going to put that out in public because it's got too much personal information on it. Well, I am certain that what's going on, this is no coincidence. So let me tell you how this ties in with what has been happening the last 48 hours to my YouTube channel. In the last 2 days, I have focused heavily on exposing elements of the Las Vegas false flag attack that slaughtered over 50 people. And I broke some very big details early on in this story that proved that there was more than one shooter. And I also debunked aspects of the official story that the mainstream media is peddling. As a result of hitting this first before anyone else did, in less than 48 hours, my videos have been viewed by more than 2 million people around the world. And in my next video, I'll show you screenshots to prove that from the internal analytics. And in these videos, at no point did I show anything that violated any YouTube guideline. I didn't attack anyone. There was no harassment. I didn't say anything insulting to the victims. I'm not one of these people who says, oh, this is all a hoax, nobody died. It's definitely attack. There's definitely dead people. So I didn't say anything that was offensive like that. I didn't use foul language. I didn't show bloody graphic images. My videos were so clean that they could have been shown in any high school or middle school in the country. This was PG material. I presented a fact-based analysis of the evidence. I spent much of my career as a professional investigator. I'm not just some average armchair pundit with a YouTube channel offering unqualified opinions. This is my skill. Among my work in the past was serving as one of the top financial crime investigators in a Fortune 100 bank. I've interviewed hundreds of victims and criminals who were involved with massive financial fraud and money laundering. So in my YouTube investigations, I employ the same kind of professional research techniques and psychological profiling, the same training that I used in my former jobs. Okay, this is good work that I'm doing here. Let me tell you what's been done in my YouTube channel since last night. I stopped working around 2 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. I had been in the middle of following leads on two very important points. First of all, I was tracking down architectural and room design plans for the Mandalay Bay Hotel that prove that some of the windows on these rooms do actually open. I found several photographs taken between probably about 15 to 20 photographs taken by different people between 2012 to 2016 showing that some of these windows do open on the building, both at the very top of the hotel, but also down in the lower third of the building where some of the shots were being fired somewhere between the 4th and 10th floors. Okay, we know about the shooting up on the 32nd floor. There was also firing going on somewhere between the 4th and 10th floors. Now, I also tracked down some statements from people in 2008 who were talking about some of these openings in the building, talking about it. Now, the other story I was tracking leads on was the two Hispanic concert goers who I don't necessarily think were Hispanic. I think they maybe looked Hispanic to the witnesses who saw them. But I think it's very likely they were not Hispanic. I think that they were, well, I won't say. These two people were making threatening statements at the Route 91 concert 45 minutes before the shooting even started. They were pulling someone's hair, some girl's hair from behind. They were harassing concert goers very obnoxiously, telling them that they were all getting ready to die. They made so much trouble that security had to escort them out of the concert. So I was analyzing possible links between these people and operatives in Indonesia who were linked to the assassination of Kim Jong-un's brother. There's a link there, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, because I know better. I get a gut feeling inside when I'm on to something significant. I've experienced this feeling for my entire career when I'm working. When I know I'm on to something, when enough of the puzzle pieces come together, I know I'm going to find the material. I just have to keep digging. I have to find the right sources. So I was planning on working through the night on these leads, but then my computer seized up. And I've talked about this in other videos. My computer has nothing on it at this point. I have to keep wiping my hard drive, even though I've got, I won't tell you which programs, but I've got multiple programs on my computer for security protection, virus protection and such. I use Tor. I have a VPN, very good VPN that I use. And yet, somehow, they keep taking control of my computer. So I have to keep wiping the hard drive and starting over. Well, all of my work last night was erased. And I got a warning message on my screen that I think I've actually shown it a couple times in the past in other videos when my computer has been taken over. One of them, when I was out doing the research in Hollywood, California, a handful of months ago, as I was doing research on one of the child trafficking rings, I showed you video where I taped my computer as it had been taken over and someone was going through my computer remotely, deleting files. Well, I've demonstrated in also, and I've shown this on video, I have done public speeches at rallies that I've been invited to by different groups, where I have taken my cell phone, because the FBI has control of my cell phone. I have taken my cell phone, turned it off, set it on a table in front of me, and told the crowd to watch. And sure enough, within moments, they power my cell phone back on. I am now, in the last year, I'm now on my 4th cell phone, because whatever this program is, whatever they do to it, it ends up frying the thing to where it'll start auto-dialing by itself and all kinds of stuff. In the same time, my wife has had no trouble with her phone. Anyway, I've got a long history with the FBI, which I'll talk about in my next video. And I'll also in that video try to post some photos of an FBI agent who was following me during my previous investigation when I was out in Las Vegas, following me around to meetings. Also a photo of the FBI vehicle that tailed me out into the Nevada desert and kept hitting my rental car with an EMP pulse to disrupt my phone and all the electronic devices in my car. Scared the hell out of me. My point is, I knew when they took control of my computer last night that something was getting ready to happen. So 3 hours later, around 5 a.m., I logged back onto YouTube. What I did between 2 and 5 is I was stressed out, needed to get away from the work for a little while. So I went and did some reading. I went back around 5 a.m., logged back onto my YouTube channel, and everything looked good. Everything was in order. So I went to bed to get a few hours of sleep. When I woke up and tried to get onto YouTube, I found that my channel had been attacked with an attempt to get the entire channel pulled down. First of all, thousands of comments trying to debunk my research and the claims I was making. Thousands of comments were posted to my channel in that very short period of time. It's clear that many of these are bot programs. The speed at which these things popped up and saying the same things over and over, it's a coordinated bot attack. Second, multiple false copyright and privacy claims were placed on these Las Vegas videos. I mean, copyright claims, it's all mine. My research. Privacy claims? In my next video, I'll also try and share screenshots of some of these notices that I've been given. But third, YouTube removed my most popular video reviewing the evidence that shooting was taking place in multiple locations at the Mandalay Bay. Fourth, I was given a community standards strike despite the fact that I have not violated a single standard. I didn't even come close to violating a community guideline. I don't even cuss in my videos. The word hell is the worst word I have ever said. In all my videos, I don't cuss. I don't use profanity. There's nothing offensive in my videos. Fifth, while these external attacks were taking place by the false infringement claims against my videos, which are supposed to be from users outside of the YouTube company, well, inside the company, YouTube itself just demonetized my entire channel. Out of nearly 800 videos, there are only a small handful left that haven't been demonetized. My channel is one step away from being completely deleted. And what's been done to my channel is the equivalent of an arsonist trying to burn down a building. The inside of my ETNR channel has been gutted. It's awful. In my next video, I'll take you on a walk around the charred remains of my channel, as well as presenting you with my backup plan should YouTube just delete the whole channel again, just like they did back in 2014 under very similar circumstances. To try to protect my channel from complete shutdown, what I have done is I have removed all of my videos on the subject of the Las Vegas shooting. I hated to do it. But if I get any more strikes, my entire channel is going to be deleted. I've worked too hard for too many years to have that happen. I would rather cut my losses and live to fight another day if possible. But please realize this is a massive cover-up, and it's coming from elements associated with the CIA, because this is a false flag operation. That does not mean people weren't killed. It doesn't mean it's a hoax. It means that they rigged this thing. This is like Oklahoma City. Was Timothy McVeigh involved? Of course he was. He wasn't just a patsy who did nothing wrong, but they set the guy up. What they do in these operations is they recruit someone to do something. They did this with the Boston Marathon bombings. The FBI recruits people, gives them a false idea of why they're doing what they're doing, sometimes making them think that it's just a drill, that it's not real, or that they're doing it for some larger good. And in some cases, these people are under MK Ultra mind control. But either way, while that's going on, what those individuals don't know is that the FBI or the CIA has got other elements at work during the same operation. They're the ones who the FBI have admitted in court that they're the ones who gave the bombs to the 1993 World Trade Center bombers. They gave them the live components to build a bomb, recruited them to do it, sent them in, and then they say, oh, we meant to stop them before they actually set off the bomb. It killed, I think it was 11 people back in 93. That was an FBI operation. I'm not saying all FBI are bad. You guys know I've got several contacts in the FBI. One or two are good, close personal friends. They know that what's going on is bad. But I also know that there are elements in the FBI that are wicked, and they're fighting back and forth against each other. Internal civil war going on inside the FBI. Well, oh, goodness. Yeah, all this stuff, this is what they did back in 2014. All I've done is I've presented my research, my findings. They did it back to me in 2014 after I exposed a joint CIA-Mossad operation in Syria related to ISIS. They hit me all at once with an army of bots, filing tons of false copyright and community standard violation claims. They took down my channel within 24 hours. They had my channel down before I knew what was happening. So this is not a movie. This is real life. This is your government doing this, or at least elements that have taken control of our government, unfortunately. This is the New World Order. The people behind these attacks against my channel are trying to stop my reporting. That's what the attacks on my channel are about. Shut this guy up. He's saying too much. He's following too many leads. Shut him up. That's why they're attacking End Times News Report. And the lawsuits and the attacks against my family, me and my family, that's meant to intimidate me into silence, to shut me up one way or another. I can tell you here, my phone buzzed a second ago. I just got a message from my wife saying that the people towing the van said that something has been done to multiple tires on the van. So they're taking her and my son to a repair shop to have the van looked at. So I need to go tend to that situation. I'm going to try to get another video up tonight, going into this situation further. I've been anticipating an attack like this. I'm a strategist. I planned for this as a possible eventuality. So I've already got a backup plan set up, including a website, a private website that I've not released, a mailing list that I'm going to tell you about to try and keep us in touch with each other in case something does happen to my channel. So if I can't get it up tonight, I'll do so tomorrow. In the meantime, visit my social media links in the video description. Get linked up to me on Twitter, Facebook, VidMe, everywhere else, so that if my channel gets taken down, you'll be able to continue following the work. And the last thing I want to ask for, and I hate to do it, but I have no choice. I need to ask for your financial help. YouTube has now gone dead for me. This is how I support my family. I've got 2 or 3 small businesses that I own and operate. They were my primary income. After I got out of the full-time work with the bank, knowing that things were going to go south, I decided to get out, start my own businesses, and I've been running those businesses. That's how I support my family. But as my YouTube business built up, and I got to where I was doing pretty good at YouTube with the income, I gradually shifted the bulk of my time over to that. So based on what's been done, I'm not going to earn anything. If I get $100 a month from YouTube, it'll be a miracle. Based on the millions of views that I got, though, just in the last 48 hours alone, I should be getting over $1,000 for that. At least. In the thousands, I should get paid. But YouTube just stole every penny of that from me. They just took everything away from me. Not only that, but they have demonetized almost every video that I have made over the years. So I am now 100% in your hands. If you want me to continue making videos, you're going to have to start supporting me. I am so grateful for those of you who are already my supporters. I love you guys to death. You know it. But if I don't get several new sponsors on Patreon or PayPal, they win. I just won't be able to justify the financial costs associated with this channel. You guys talk all the time about, you know it. You know that these people are out to shut us down. You know they want to kill alternative media. You know that they want the public to only get their news from the mainstream media, which is completely owned by the Zionists. You know this. You talk about it. You complain about it. Well, folks, I'm not the only one out here, but I am one person. I am one voice trying to give you the truth of what's going on, at least to give you alternatives for you to look at and make up your own minds. You say YouTube shouldn't be a business. Well, what should be a business? I am providing a product, a service that is valuable. I spend a lot of money out of my pocket to travel to key locations to conduct the research that I do. And because of the kind of work that I do to expose pedophile rings and illegal intelligence operations, somebody out there keeps sabotaging my vehicles, which also carries a lot of expense with these repairs. I work a minimum of 10 hours a day doing the research to create these videos for you. I love this work. I feel called by God to do it, but I also have to support my own family. So please, if you value this work, enable me to continue to be able to do it. I'm asking you to go right now to patreon.com/endtimesnewsreport. Make a donation. Or you can go make a one-time donation at paypal.me/endtimesnewsreport. You make a one-time donation there. I know that money is tight for all of you. Trust me, as the father of 8 children, I know how tight money can be. I'm not a rich guy. But if several of you can donate as little as the cost of a fast food combo, $5, $10 a month, you can keep my channel running. Plus, as I will announce later, I have an alternative to YouTube ready to go in case my channel is killed. So I'll tell you about that. Thank you all for your support. Please keep my family in your prayers. Satan and his pawns are on the offensive, and I'm asking for you to combine your faith with mine so that we can overcome these challenges and win the fight and keep the American public informed of the truth rather than let the enemy dictate what it is we are supposed to believe. Help me fight the New World Order. For the End Times News Report, I'm Jake Morphonios.
So I asked him, can I go out that way? He says, no, you need to go into the casino. And I asked him, do you work here? He said, no. And he's very calm, and everybody's freaking out. And so I told him, I was like, well, what's in the suitcase? You know, like, what's in the suitcase? I want to know what's in the suitcase. Why are you telling me to go to the casino? I'm not going to listen to you, and if you don't work here, why can't I go out there, and why are you telling me to go in here, and what's in the suitcase? Those are 3 things that I'm trying to figure out. And he's like, oh, nothing. And he's very calm, like, you know, everybody's freaking out. I mean, this guy, how can you be so calm when you see everybody running through, people, blood everywhere? There was a guy that was on the ground next to the wall who was bleeding, and he was dead. Like, he was dead. My girlfriend saw him. Babe, did you see him? She saw him for like 3 seconds, and I told her to look away because it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. This guy was on the ground. He had shots on his legs, shots on his torso, and shot in his arm. He was shot in the arm, and everybody was really focused on his arm and his body. But he was dead. He already had his head back. His eyes were closed. He wasn't moving. And so she had to see that. And so after seeing that, I'm trying to get out of this place because I don't know what's going on. I know this guy had gotten shot before, but so the guy with the suitcase, I tell him, do you work here? He says no. I asked him if I can go outside. He said no. I asked him if he worked there. He said no. I asked him what's in the suitcase. He said nothing. So I'm super like very, very curious, and I want to know what's in the suitcase because this guy is walking in when everyone is like freaking out, and he's very calm, he's collected, and he has... It was a terrorist attack. It was a terrorist attack, okay? I just want everybody to realize what happened last weekend, exactly 1 week ago, was a terrorist attack. It was group organized, it was choreographed, and I don't want anyone thinking that it was a one-person shooter. There's no way in hell a 64-year-old untrained man can shoot an automatic military-grade weapon from a 34th floor at a declining grade and hit people. And bullets are going like this, not like this. I mean, there's bullets that were hitting people on the pelvic and everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. You know, Jason Aldean was doing a great job. He said he was going to give us a great performance. He wasn't going to talk. He was up there on stage. He was killing it. He was doing everything right. And so... of course, you know, we were enjoying the performance. He was entertaining us, and we loved his music. So then, this is when it all begins. So me and her, we're standing, and we're listening to music, and next thing you know, we're in the top, like the front and the right side stage. We hear, like, firecrackers, like, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And I heard it, everybody heard it around us, and everybody's kind of looking around like, who did that? Where did it come from? You know, nobody knew where it came from. It was so unexpected. So then we hear a second series of the firecrackers go off. And when the second series came off, Jason Aldean noticed it upstage as well, and he kind of started looking towards our direction. And everybody else was like, what in the world? This guy came running to us, and he ran into my girlfriend because she's in front of me, and he was up in the front. He ran into my girlfriend, and I was like, honestly, this is how I'm telling you guys everything as truthful as I can. Yes, I do worship, you know, God, and I am a good Christian, but I was upset, and I did curse. So the guy came, and he ran up to us, and he ran into my girlfriend. I was like, hey, dude, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you running into us? And he goes, dude, there's shots going. This guy was right in front of us. He just went down. He's dead. He's dead. And I was like, oh, like, that's like when it all clicked in, and then you can hear the and he's not stopping. The shots are going. Jason Aldean ran off stage, and then as we're hearing that, we instantly drop, and there's people getting shot all around us, everywhere around us. I swear, it was very, 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 very scary. I mean, we're loving life. 1 second, we're listening to Jason Aldean. This is amazing. Next thing you know, we're fighting for our lives. We don't even know if we're going to live. There's 2 people that got shot that landed on her legs, and then 1 guy got shot and landed on her back. The guy on her back was completely unresponsive, and I truly believe that he was no longer with us. And that was very hard to see, and especially with my girlfriend under them. I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out, and I thought I had got shot as well because I had a wet sensation on my lower left back. Now we're running, and we're trying to evade. We're trying to get out, but we're close to the front, so it felt like forever for us to get out of the venue. We're running. We hear the shots again, instantly drop. People in front of us are still running because they didn't. I mean, some people were running and some people were dropping, but no matter what, I told her, I was like, babe, we need to drop. We need to get out of here. We need to get cover. Whatever we can do, we're in the wide open, and the guy's shooting straight to us. So we get down, and we're laying down, and I have my head down, and she has her head down. She couldn't move, so I literally threw her down. And, babe, I'm sorry. I threw you down. She had scrapes on her knees and everything, but I didn't care. I had to make sure that she got down, and I got down, and we were hopefully going to make it out alive. Because at that time, we had no idea if we were or weren't. So people around us are getting shot. And now, if I pray that you guys never ever have to hear this, and I don't want to stress this out too much, but when people get shot around you, you can hear it. You can hear when the bullets actually make contact with the body, and that is a very, very, very it's very hard to hear. You don't want to hear that. You can hear when the bullets don't hit, and you can hear when the bullets do. And I heard more bullets hitting than didn't, and that was very, very scary. So it was just really, it came down to, at the end of it all, where you were at that time. I mean, it was just so scary. Anyways, so we're down again, and we do this consecutively for about 3 times before we get towards the middle where the shopping center is in the venue. And as we're there, I kind of try to take cover behind a tree, but that didn't really work out because there was already people there. So then I like ran towards the shops. We laid down there. I told her, no matter what, you stay low. I don't care. Like, if you just hear for 1 second, you hear a shot, stay low. Like, get down on the ground. I don't care, because the shots were going off so much that it was a workout. Literally, I'm telling you, getting down, dropping down, running, dropping down, running, dropping down, running, dropping down, like, so repetitiveness, like, you have no idea. Like, it drained us. It literally drained every little part of us that we could possibly have. It took all of us, all of what was in us. So so now we're making it out, right? And we see everybody running towards the right exit, or the right entrance that we use as an exit as well, and the left entrance that we use as an exit as well. And the left entrance is the strip entrance, and then the right entrance is like a back entrance. I don't know, it's by the porta potties. So everybody's running over there, and they're all in crowds and hordes of people. And I told my girlfriend, I was like, we're not going where everyone is, because that's where the shooter's going to shoot. We are running straight through the back, and we're staying away from everyone. And so we did. We ran straight through the back of the venue, and there was a fence, like about a 10-foot fence. And there was a green sheet on both sides of the fence, and it was one of those that you can climb, but you couldn't because it had the sheet in between them. So there was an orange gate, that like a divider gate that was pried up against the fence, and people were using it as a ladder. I think there was two guys that were standing on the other side of the fence catching everybody, and one of them caught my girlfriend. So thank you so much. God bless you. I really appreciate you for helping everyone get over that fence, especially those 2 ladies. All the ladies that were there, you guys are heroes. Everyone who lived is a hero from that event, and I want to make that clear, because everybody participated in some sort of way to get somebody else out alive. And that's the true beauty of it. You know, it wasn't just a tragedy. It wasn't just a nightmare. There was a lot of beautiful things going on, a lot of people taking care of each other. And thank you so much to those 2 brave guys that were taking care of making sure that girls were jumping over the fence and not breaking their ankles or their legs or their arms or whatever. So we're getting over now, and now we're running across the street, and we hear shots coming from like Hooters, MGM area over there. There was shots coming from over there, and there was shots going from Mandalay Bay. Sorry, my brother's girlfriend's getting home right now. So shots were going from Mandalay. You know, they were really deep, really far, and then you can hear like a hey, Rocky, shh, shh. So we're hearing multiple shots now, and this is our first encounter to multiple shots, and we're running across the street, and there's a parking lot, Tropicana parking lot, and so we go into the parking lot, and she's can't breathe, she can't see, so I get her behind a car, and the shots are still going off, and people are around us, and they're noticing how much of an attack she's having, and they just wanted to comfort her. And there was an elderly lady who actually approached us, and she helped comfort my girlfriend. And so thank you to you as well. Like I said, thank you to everybody who was there and helped everyone, especially those who helped us get out. And this one over here, she was very, very, very terrified. Everybody was. So now everybody's going into Tropicana through this back entrance. We kind of had to jump down from a little wall, and there is an open door. There is a door open, and everybody's going up with their hands up. Both of your hands up. Everybody's walking through, and it's a hallway, and there's just hordes of people funneling into this room. And so everybody's trying to get in, everybody's trying to get in, everybody's trying to get in. Everybody has their hands up, and we're all finally getting in. We're going through the hallway. There's blood on the walls. You can see handprints on the doors. I mean, there was blood everywhere. It was. I don't want to speak about it too much because I know some people get sensitive with blood and everything, but it was everywhere. So we're going in, and they're trying to direct everyone into the casino at Tropicana. And I noticed it, and I'm like, why? Why is everyone... I don't want to stay with groups of people. That was like my main thing, is we're not going in groups of people. We're staying away from everyone, and we're going to do our own thing, and we're going to try to make it out safe and sound. So this guy comes in. This is the part that everybody's questioning, and I'm telling you guys now, this is how it went down. So he walks in from the pool area, and he has a suitcase. Mind you, nobody around right now has a suitcase. Nobody's even as calm as this guy. This guy walked in, and he was very, very calm, right? So I'm under the impression this guy works here. And I asked him, first thing is, hey, can I go out that way? Because there was guys that were saying, go to the casino. Everybody go to the casino. And I was like, I don't want to go to the casino. There's doors right here. And if I can go out this way, I'm going out this way. So this guy walks in. I think he works there because he's wearing a black collared shirt. He has white lettering right here on his left side. And he wasn't wearing a hat. He wasn't wearing glasses. But he had short hair. He had thick eyebrows. And he was kind of like this color tone. He was a lighter brown. And he was very big, like a very muscular man. He had thick chest, thick arms. And so he walked in, and I asked him, hey, can I go out that way? And he goes, no, you need to go into the casino. You need to go in the casino. So he's kind of directing me now, and I'm like, hey, like, do you work here? Like, why can't I go out this way? And at the same time, I'm questioning why he has this black polymer suitcase, you know? So I asked him, can I go out that way? He says, no, you need to go into the casino. And I asked him, do you work here? He said, no. And he's very calm, and everybody's freaking out. And so I told him, I was like, well, what's in the suitcase? You know, like, what's in the suitcase? I want to know what's in the suitcase. Why are you telling me to go to the casino? I'm not going to listen to you. And if you don't work here, why can't I go out there? And why are you telling me to go in here? And what's in the suitcase? Those are three things that I'm trying to figure out. And he's like, oh, nothing. And he's very calm, like, you know, everybody's freaking out. I mean, this guy, how can you be so calm when you see everybody running through, people, blood everywhere? There was a guy that was on the ground next to the wall who was bleeding, and he was dead. Like, he was dead. My girlfriend saw him. Babe, did you see him? She saw him for like 3 seconds, and I told her to look away because it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. This guy was on the ground. He had shots on his legs, shots on his torso, and shot in his arm. He was shot in the arm, and everybody was really focused on his arm and his body. But he was dead. He already had his head back. His eyes were closed. He wasn't moving. And so she had to see that. And so after seeing that, I'm trying to get out of this place because I don't know what's going on. I know this guy had gotten shot before, but so the guy with the suitcase, I tell him, do you work here? He says no. I asked him if I can go outside. He said no. I asked him if he worked there. He said no. I asked him what's in the suitcase. He said nothing. So I'm super like very, very curious, and I want to know what's in the suitcase because this guy is walking in when everyone is like freaking out, and he's very calm. He's collected, and he has this kind of demeanor like, oh, like he was just walking very calm, and I something was wrong. I could tell something was wrong. I didn't like it. I felt it was like a planned setup. And so I'm confronting him now, and I'm telling him what's in the suitcase, and another guy runs up. He goes, yeah, I'm with him. What's in the fucking suitcase? And the guy goes, okay. So he looks me dead in the eyes. The whole entire time, I kid you not, he looks me in the eyes, and he goes, he gets down. He's not looking at the suitcase. He's looking at me. And he's looking straight at me in the eyes, and he has a grin on his face, and he's ready to open up. And as soon as he's down and he's like at that point where he's about to open it up, shots fired in Tropicana Casino, and everybody's freaking out. And her and I, we heard them. They were like, they were totally different. They were actually ARs, and they were suppressed. And there were three bursts inside the Tropicana Casino. People who were there inside will tell you that there was that, and that happened, and it was confirmed via those people that were in there. So the shots went off, and he ran into the casino when everybody was running out and trying to get to safety. He ran into the casino. He didn't open it. He just ran in there, and I feel like I held him back from what he was supposed to do. This is truly what I feel. Now, it could be wrong. I could be right. I could be wrong. I have no idea. But the fact is that once the shots went off, he ran in there, like as if he was a police officer. You know, that's something that police officers do. They run to danger. When danger happens, anyone who's ever faced a life or death situation, you run. And you run away, you know? This guy ran in, and he had a suitcase, and who knows what was in the suitcase? I have no idea. Maybe he went in there and he felt like he had to do his job. I don't know. I have no idea. But I feel like I did hold him back from what he was supposed to do, which could have been him walking through the back of the pool area while someone else walked through the front, and them both just spraying and letting everybody get shot. You know, people are seeing their shots at Bellagio. I wasn't there. I can't tell you, but I was at Tropicana, and I did hear those shots. And we ran out to the day pool area, and we hid in the cabanas for 30 minutes. She was laying down, and I was laying on top of her. I told her to keep her head low. I told her to stay quiet because she's breathing really loud. And then there's a trash can in there, and she just kept throwing up. And yes, I do believe that if he opened up the suitcase, he was ready to just shoot me down. I'm thankful that the shooter, I don't think anybody really died in there. I have no idea. I ran out, and I don't know what happened in there. But we did hear the shootings, and I didn't see them, but I heard them. And if I was in the casino, who knows if I would have been able to tell the story right now. But I did not want to go into herds or flocks of people. I was trying to stay away from them because I knew that's what their motive was. Their motive was to get everyone into groups of people and shoot as many as they can in short amount of times, and then try to run and get away. The suitcase was about it was give me 1 second, hold on. So the suitcase was about, this is a trash can, I don't know how big it is, but it was about this short. Hold on. It was about this short. It wasn't as long as this, and it was about this wide. So it was a good sized square. It was black. It didn't have any branding on it. I didn't see any branding. So it was big enough to hold maybe a foldable rifle. I have no idea. I have no idea, but it wasn't big enough to hold a whole rifle in itself. So that's already ruled out as a possible weapon. But it could have been a foldable AR. I have no idea. It could have just been money. Maybe he didn't want to show me he had money in his suitcase, but it didn't seem that way. My gut is pretty. It had a strong feeling that something wrong was with this guy. So, or it could have been a Tech 9. Yeah, it could have been a Uzi. All I know is that the burst of shots were very quick and they didn't last long. They were not 15 seconds long like the Mandalay Bay shooter was. They were very short bursts, and it was almost as if they just wanted to get a few shots in and then quickly get out, because they knew that police were going to be there like that, because everybody, I mean, the streets were filled with, they were on lockdown. Everything was done. Someone's saying that there were shots at Paris. I wasn't there. I don't know. But now this is where it gets crazy. Crazier. I mean, this whole thing is crazy. I know. But so we get out to the pool day pool area, and we're laying in the cabana now. We're in there for 30 minutes, and I'm telling her to keep quiet. And we're quiet. We made it. There's people still running around. And so we hop over the fence, and we lay down on this little hill. And it wasn't a hill, actually. It was like there's a bunch of plants in between the day pool and the hotel area in Tropicana. And there's a fence that you had to jump over. So we jumped over that fence, and then we were in between the day pool area and the hotel. And there's a bunch of like plants and rocks and trees. And so we hid in there. I had a white shirt, so I took my shirt off, and we're laying on the dirt, and I'm telling her not to move. I'm telling her to stay still. People are running around us, so I'm just really trying not to be seen. I don't know where the shooter is. And so we're laying down there, and I'm like, babe, we need to find out if Nate and Paige are okay. So we check. That's my brother and his girlfriend. They said they were fine, and they were so far gone. They were like about 2 miles down from the strip. Oh no, they were like a mile away. They were out in front of Bellagio. Where were they? You don't remember? They were pretty far, and we were barely at Tropicana. We didn't make it far at all. There was just too much chaos going on. So we're laying down, and I told my girlfriend, and we're laying down, and we found out they're okay, but I had to go to the restroom, and I wasn't going to flip around. I wasn't going to make any movement. So we're laying down completely still, and I'm like, babe, I'm going to go pee. Like, I have to pee, and I'm not moving. I don't want our lives. I don't want our cover to be taken or anything. At this point, you just don't know where the shooter is, so you don't want to make any sudden movements. You don't want to be noticed. So we're laying down, and I pee. I had to go pee. So yeah, I let it out, and I felt better, of course, obviously. But see, these are the little details I didn't give in the writing, and I'm letting you guys know, since you guys are going live with me. I'm letting you guys know. Yeah, I pissed myself because I didn't want to blow my cover. So now we're going into the hotel area, and so we get in there, and there's a girl in front of the elevator, and she's African American, and she's projectile vomiting, just completely vomiting, projectile. A girl across from her was sitting down. She was shot in the back of the leg, and she was saying, I'm fine, don't worry about me, I'm okay, I'm shot in the back of the leg, but I'm fine. So nobody, there was people around her, but she was just telling everybody who got around her that she was fine. So for the most part, everybody just let her be. I really hope that woman got taken care of, and she's fine now. And I know, hopefully, she hears the story, because I did see her, and I did see the African American woman actually throwing up and getting sick. So now we're going through, and at the front door of where we were, there was 3 gentlemen, and all 3 of them, I walked outside, and I said, hey, I'm gonna take off. And they're like, you can't go anywhere. And I was like, I can do whatever the fuck I want, And he was like, he didn't really question it, but at first he was just like, you can't go anywhere. You need to stay here. There's no cops out there or whatever. He was just like, you need to stay in here. This is your best bet, kind of a deal. And I was like, no, it's not. I'm getting the hell out of here. We're running out. So I grabbed her. Obviously, she was with me the whole entire time, and we're walking. Now we're walking, kind of running, because you just don't know what's going on. You don't know where anyone is. And so she wants to walk. She's out of breath. She's tired. And I'm like, no, we need to run. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. We're running. I'm running, and kind of not running to, kind of appease her needs. Because we're out of breath. We had no water. We're devastated and everything. So now we're running through this alleyway. There's an alleyway, and there's a fence with electronic stuff in it, and then across from it there's a big industrial trash can. And then if you keep going down the alleyway, there's a parking structure. And so now we're running, and then what happened, babe?
There were shots.
There were shots? Where? From New York, Excalibur area. We heard shots and saw them, the muzzle flash, literally outside. It wasn't inside. It was not inside. It was outside. And the shots were coming, literally, they were going towards our direction, towards the parking structure at Tropicana. I threw her behind the pillar, and I said, babe, stay low. We need to take cover. So she saw the muzzle flashes from very up close, and we don't like talking about it. It's not something to take very lightly. A lot of people don't believe that we saw the things that we saw. They think that we were like I'm Superman and I was everywhere at one place, and that's not true. I'm just saying that Tropicana shootings we heard, and the New York Excalibur, I'm not sure which one it really was, but it came from that direction because it's across the street from the parking structure at Tropicana. If you look it up on the maps, you'll see Tropicana, you'll see the parking structure, and you'll see New York, and Excalibur. So we saw the muzzle flashes, and it was about 2 bursts, and I threw her behind the pillar, and we're taking cover, and now we're running through this hallway alongside of the parking structure. And there's one guy standing there, and he's saying, come this way. He grabs, what did he do, babe?
He grabbed my arm and pulled me
He grabbed her. I'm with her, and this guy comes and grabs my girlfriend and tries to pull her and tell him that she needs to go that way. No, that doesn't work with me, buddy. I'm sorry. I don't know who the fuck you were to try to grab my girlfriend and tell her where she needs to go or where we need to go. But that wasn't flying. You were not police. You had, maybe your intentions were right. Maybe they were good. Maybe they were bad. I have no idea, but I wasn't going to let somebody tell me where to go. Not at a devastating time like that. It was very volatile. You don't know where the shooters are. We just heard and saw the New York Excalibur shootings, and he's trying to tell us, like, hey, come over here, come over here. Sketchy. Fuck you. Not working with me. You know? So I told him, no, like, we're going to go our own way. So we ran back the way that we ran from, and we jumped into the trash can. The trash can had a table and some chairs next to it, and I told her to get on the table and jump over. She gets on the trash can, and she's sitting up on the top. Like, this trash can is about, I don't know, maybe 10 feet high. It's 10 feet high. So now we're near a parking structure. We're in an open area, and she sits on top of the trash can, and she's, like, sitting there for, like, you know, I want to say 5 seconds. 5 seconds is a very long time, okay? It's a very long time in those situations. So I told her to hurry up and get her ass in there, and she was worried because there was, like, nails and, like, you know, table legs, broken table legs with nails hanging out, so she didn't want to jump in right away, which I get, but, like, hurry up, you know, kind of a deal. So she got in, I got in, I went into this area in there, and I had my shoulder, like, on a piece of wood, and I was laying back, and I had her laying on myself, and we laid there for 3 hours, and that's the first time we let our friends and family know that that we were okay. And I posted the status on Facebook, and I don't remember the time. You guys can check my timeline, but that's the time where I felt it was okay. I was safe. I was in a trash can. Nobody had seen us. We were okay for the time being. So I wanted to let my family and friends know, because I was getting calls. My phone battery was at like 10% when the whole thing started going down. So when I posted the status on Facebook, I was at like 7%, and I wanted to save as much battery as I can, or as I could. And so helicopters, oh, before I get to that, so we're in the trash can, and there's like a bunch of electronics, and there's like cardboards, and there's cardboard boxes, like flat cardboard boxes, and I lay them over us. There's 2 of them that I could pull out from the trash can, so I pulled them out and I laid them over us to cover us, so people can see us if they looked in the trash can. So we're in there, and we're in our little, like, hut, almost, a cardboard hut, and that was the best thing that I could do at that time. There was nowhere, I didn't want to run anywhere, and so helicopters are flying. There's 2 helicopters, the lights are flying around everywhere, and at this time, the shooter's already dead. You know, they had already announced that the shooter was dead. My dad texted me, said they got the one shooter, and they were still going around in the helicopters for hours. The whole time we were in the trash can, there was a helicopter flying around. And helicopter fuel is not cheap. It's very expensive. I get it, yeah, our tax dollars pay for it, whatever. But why? Why were they flying, and why were they shining lights on like Excalibur, New York area? Because that's all we could see. We're under cardboard boxes, but we could see out of a little window, and the helicopter had its light, and it was going around Excalibur, New York area, like New York. And so if they only got one shooter, why were they flying around for the whole time while we were in the trash can? And I don't know when we got inside, further on in the story, once we went to the other place where we went to, I don't know how long they were flying, but if they were flying there all night, why? Why were they flying all night? You know, if they got one shooter and they knew it was one shooter right away, why were they flying the whole entire time? You know? It makes no sense to me. So that's kind of a concern for me. They're trying to say that it was one shooter, and if they really truly believe that, why did they have helicopters going around? Like, they know that there was multiple shooters. They know that the New York Excalibur shooting was
Well, I must
right
say,
outside. It wasn't
helicopters
inside.
going to
It
be
was
flying
outside.
around
You
in
saw the muzzle
Vegas. I
flashes.
mean, that's kind of
You
a
know,
stupid
Tropicana was
statement.
inside like the casino area where they were trying to direct everyone, but it was very short, so that by the time the police got there, the guy was already gone. So
All right, I'm
those
going
are
to
the
go.
three that I can personally myself confirm, and I know what.
All right, I'm going to go. Honestly, I mean, maybe this guy has the eyewitness account. I don't know. Do realize that some of that stuff he's talking about is going to happen anyway. That's kind of how that works. So I'm going to run this last bit of video and then I'm out of here. Later.
Well, I guess someone's really fucking shooting, huh? Holy fucking shit, dude. That's a little bit away from us. You the slap in the pop? That means it's a small shot. Swing right. Holy shit. I think she's really hurt, babe. Come on, babe. Come on, babe. Come on, babe. Come on, let's go. Fucking mayhem in the street, damn it! Look at that! Holy fucking shit, dude! This is crazy.
Let's go here. That's fine.
Stay right here behind this bush. We don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Shots started ringing out. Said they were shooting from the top of the hotel. Hey, Derek!
All right, let's actually discuss some stuff. All right, so this guy apparently really needed my attention. So we'll do it at an ad screen cap. Give me a second here. So this Earl 77 said I stole something from somebody. This video was stolen from Space of Age YouTube channel. You are Mr. Radio Heartless Bastard. Alright, so anyway. That doesn't even make good fucking sense. You fucking retard. Okay, so you're calling me a fucking retard, but yet right here, you're showing and proving yourself a total freaking retard. Fucking assholes. Anyway, I get tired of this shit to a degree. But anyway, should we return to what we were doing? Let's return to what we were doing in the first place before some asshole wanted to stick his nose in everybody's business. Oh, wait. Well, wasn't that the point?
Stay down, stay down, stay down. Snaps, that means it's coming by you. If you hear a crack.
I heard a crack, dude. Hey, the security's boning out.
Right now. I don't care. I don't know who you are. Move. Help.
Dude, don't fucking, you know better than that.
I'm just saying, let me help. I don't know who the fuck you are. I just showed you my creds.
That's fine. I don't know who you are. Keep moving. Keep moving. Hey. Let's go. Let's go with the dude with the fucking AR.
Well, it's just we don't really know where to go, because it's like if you go there, then you might be in a line of fire, because they're all the way up there.
You could literally see glass falling out of the windows of Mandalay Bay.
On this side, if they see people moving, they might just start shooting whatever they see moving.
Because I think they're just like shooting randomly, just at the event, or.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas right now. I feel so dirty.
Well, we're laying on the floor.
I'm laying on the ground in Las Vegas. I'm a street dweller.
Did you see any sparks or anything? See, it's like it's coming from up at the Mandalay Bay somewhere.
What did you guys do? This is fucking crazy.
We were just literally just sitting right at the fountains, and then we heard shots, and we just thought it was fireworks. So we didn't.
So that's not a firework you're hearing.
Yeah, so we didn't really
That's
move
a gunshot with
until we saw
guns everywhere.
police right behind us with rifles, and they asked us to take cover. And so we ran.
There's glass falling from Mandalay Bay.
And so we ran over. This is basically probably not it's probably not the safest place to be, but I'm afraid of
sitting on the ground. Somebody's gonna have to bleach me after this.
Huh?
You don't know what's on this ground right now.
Like the police are over there, but everything's kind of stopped. We don't know. There's no traffic going in any direction, and I think obviously there are people being carted out of the this country thing. I have no idea what the current situation is, but probably just gonna sit here. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah.
Are y'all from here?
Yeah.
This kind of thing happens very often?
It's happened on the strip probably once in the last. I remember there being a shooting.
There was a shooting at Bellagio. Somebody
Bellagio.
robbed a jewelry store.
Right.
And that was February, I think. And that's the only other thing I've heard of. This is fucking nuts.
So if you I can kind of hear the people on the other side.
I don't understand going inside of this.
So this is the kind of stuff where the person will do it and then just shoot himself up there or something. It's like, oh, I want to die, but I'm gonna take people with me.
Seriously, I don't know what's going on.
You UH-60 Black Hawk crew chiefs at Fort Irwin, California's National Training Center, or NTC, are responsible not only for maintaining the aircraft, but also with manning the M240 Hotel machine gun. The soldiers go through free-fire familiarization gunnery with over 100 targets, including old tanks and enemy silhouettes inside cities.
It's really challenging to hit targets from the aircraft because you're moving at about 110, 120 knots.
The gunnery is not only to add to their accuracy, but also to ensure they know what to do if the weapon malfunctions. The diversity of the Black Hawk crew's mission, including medevac rescue and troop insertion, call for keen communication between the pilots and crew.
They are firing the weapon systems as well as taking care of all the passengers in the back.